Looksmaxxing is the idea of improving your looks in every way possible. Nowadays, because of social media and dating apps, we live in a society where looks are extremely important in dating life, and it even transcends to everything else like business and career opportunities. Before we start, I think that at this point, I shouldn't need to mention the very basics. Sleeping at least 8 hours a night, maintaining good hygiene, eating a healthy, balanced diet, drinking enough water, taking a vitamin D3 supplement if you can't get 20 to 30 minutes of sun exposure a day, trying to manage your stress and staying off drugs. By far the best Looksmaxx there is to just get lean. Yes, you are probably not lean enough. Yes, your 15% body fat is not good enough in today's market. You think you are lean because you see a bit of your abs, but you still don't have a full six-pack. 10 to 12% is the ideal body fat range for males. If you guys pay close attention, all the attractive men that young women simp and lust for, they all share one thing in common: they are lean. So if you are currently overweight, you have no business complaining about the dating market. Lose the damn weight, and you will not only look better, but you will be healthier. Now we're moving on hair, and this category is extremely important, but don't just take my word for it.
Dating bald or dating with hair? I created 2 different profiles on an online dating app. I swiped 200 times with both profiles in multiple days, and these were the results. My bald self got 17 chances for a date. My hair self got 42 chances for a date. The match rate was 9% versus 17% respectively. You want to be choosing, not to be chosen. Women are obsessed with their hair. They will become obsessed with yours too.
Now that we have seen actual evidence of how important hair is, and let me just address one thing. Those types of experiments are really one of the very few instances where you can see genuinely what women respond positively to. Because in these scenarios, the girls don't have to virtue signal. It's anonymous, and they will simply swipe right or left on you. You should never take what a girl says in an interview, because they will virtue signal and not be honest. So now we have to address the elephant in the room: hair loss. If you are currently experiencing hair loss, it is extremely essential that you start to take action right now. Minoxidil, finasteride, dermarolling, and RU58841 are compounds proven to work against hair loss. Finasteride also exists in topical form, and I would actually recommend this over taking it systemically. In the future, I will have a detailed video talking about hair loss and all the compounds I just mentioned. Now for your haircuts and hairstyles, you shouldn't try to copy someone else's style randomly. Instead, what you should be doing is finding a celebrity, actor, or model that has your phenotype and hair type, and see what kind of hairstyles they are using. Obviously, your hair texture and thickness will vary, and you will never be able to copy exactly someone's hairstyle. But this is how you should approach it. You should also stay away from buzz cuts or short hairstyles, unless you have a very masculine face, because it will expose your skull shape, and it's going to make the framing of your face in general just look bad. And also, most men are using some sort of short-haired hairstyles. So by doing this, you are going to just blend in with the crowd. A quick tip: please stop using shampoo every single day. It makes your hair look worse and lifeless because you're stripping all its natural oils. Don't use shampoo more than twice a week and your hair will thank you for it. Now moving to yet a very important category, and that is skin. Anyone who has spent their teenage years with some sort of acne will know the struggle. Women in general feel repulsed by acne because skin is a health indicator, and acne signals to women that you are in poor health. So I mentioned this earlier on, but drinking enough water, in my experience, does have a very positive effect on skin, and a good healthy diet also tends to improve your skin over time. For example, for me, removing dairy helped a lot in dealing with acne, making my skin look better and reducing inflammation. You should have a skincare routine, but it doesn't need to be anything complicated. All you really need is a gentle cleanser, a lightweight moisturizer, an exfoliator, and sunscreen. I would stay away from male-branded skincare simply because it is more expensive, and it is not going to give you better results. These basic skincare products are not magic. They're not active ingredients, so you shouldn't be paying a premium when you can buy from reputable brands and save some money. This is all you should be doing as a young guy, especially if you do not have acne or other skin problems. Because getting good skin is a long process and will take some time, potentially months until you see changes. You will need something in the meantime to improve the appearance of your skin. And so, I recommend tinted moisturizer. They work by matching to your skin tone, The pigments help to lightly blur the appearance of blemishes and imperfections. But if you are a prolific looksmaxxer and you want to do the extra mile, you can incorporate a retinoid, vitamin C, and red light therapy in your routine. The vitamin C you can buy over the counter, and the weakest forms of retinoids you can as well. But I would try to get tretinoin since it is the active ingredient with the most scientific studies backing it up. Tretinoin will help with aging, and it's also very competent at reducing acne. Another retinoid you can use is adapalene. Although less potent than tretinoin, it is more potent than the normal ones you can buy over the counter. The reason is that these will greatly improve your collagen, and collagen is basically what keeps your skin looking young. In moderate to severe acne cases, you should visit a dermatologist, and they will prescribe to you some active ingredients that you can incorporate into your skincare routine. And lastly, if you had acne previously and you want to get rid of scars, you can get dermabrasion among other laser treatments to remove your acne scares. Having white and straight teeth is a must, and is also a status symbol. It signals to other people that you at the very least have the money to fix your teeth, or you've got good genetics in that regard. So the first step is, if you have straight teeth, I would go to a dentist and get teeth whitening. If you don't have straight teeth, you must visit an orthodontist. And if you have bite problems, this will complicate things, and you will need to be very careful with the orthodontist. In some cases, you might need to get second and third opinions on your issue. For instance, the thing I don't see mentioned ever in looksmaxxing videos about teeth is that, in some cases, braces might not be enough. And in fact, you might require a jaw surgery in combination with orthodontic treatment to fix your problem. I will give an example. If you are an adult and you have an overbite, you should avoid at all costs a retraction-based orthodontic treatment, because what they do is make the upper teeth go back to meet the lower teeth, and thus fixing your overbite, but with a penalty on your facial aesthetics, because now your mid-face will look more sunk in, and if worse facial aesthetics are not enough to detract you from doing such a treatment, you will have a smaller airway, so you will breathe worse and you have an increased risk of developing sleep apnea. I'm only scratching the surface here, guys. I encourage you to do research, and don't go with whatever the first orthodontist tells you. You should get multiple opinions, and always avoid retraction-based methods. If you hear the words like removing your first premolar teeth and elastics, do not accept that treatment. Now we are moving on to grooming, and like with hairstyles, grooming also depends on phenotype, age, and level of attractiveness. Never listen to extreme opinions like this. When talking about facial hair, it totally depends on the individual. I don't recommend full beards because they tend to make you look older. Stubble has been shown to consistently be the most attractive facial hairstyle. However, like I said, it totally depends on the individual. For example, a young pretty boy will obviously look better with a clean-shaved face. A guy in his mid-20s with Mediterranean phenotype will look the best with some sort of facial hair, usually stubble beard. Guys who have weaker jaws might benefit from longer facial hair. So it always depends on the individual. It depends on age, phenotype, and level of attractiveness. Attractive men tend to have very good jaw development. So in a lot of cases, clean-shaven to light stubble is the best look for them. Austin Dunham is a good example that, even with a very good jaw development, he still benefited from having facial hair versus being clean-shaven. It is undeniable that he is seen as more attractive now in the eyes of women, as proven by his results on dating apps and the reactions he gets when going out. Of course, for you to find out what suits you the most, you must be able to grow a full beard. And if for whatever reason, maybe genetics, you are unable to grow a full beard, you can try minoxidil on your face. I recommend that you apply it twice a day and combine it with derma rolling, as that has been shown to improve the results. If you are one of the people that do not respond to minoxidil, you can include tretinoin. I talked about tretinoin in the skin section, but in addition, tretinoin has been shown to enhance minoxidil response, and I can personally vouch for this myself. Eyebrows are often neglected by men, but they can affect your looks vastly. The outer length of your eyebrows should at least reach the outer part of your eyelids, but ideally they can be a bit longer. For the inner length, you want your eyebrows to be almost parallel to your nostrils. If you trim too much, you will look like this. And if you don't trim at all, you will look like this. Positively tilted eyebrows are the most ideal, but neutral tilt is not a negative, while negative tilted eyebrows in most cases are less attractive. Thicker eyebrows are more attractive for men than thin eyebrows, as well as darker eyebrows. To grow thicker and darker eyebrows, you can use once again minoxidil on your eyebrows, castor oil, latisse, and derma rolling. If you don't have naturally dark eyebrows, you can also grab an eyebrow pen to make your eyebrows darker, fuller, and thicker. Once you have thick and dense eyebrows, you can start shaping them. Use a tweezer, and definitely don't go overboard with this. Otherwise, you will end up looking like this. A quick tip I want to mention is, if you have eyesight problems, you should consider using contact lenses instead of using glasses. In my opinion, glasses make most guys look worse. Building an aesthetic lean physique is going to make you much more attractive, and most of you are average looking facially, so you can't really afford to not have a lean physique in 2023. A physique combined with all the Softmaxxes listed in this video will separate you from the normie. This section requires a video of its own, but simply put, these are my recommendations for all of you that are starting out. If you start as a skinny fat individual, you must first lose some body fat until you start to see your abdominal muscles. This will give you motivation because as your body fat goes down, your facial attractiveness will increase. If you start as a fat individual, the same applies. And if you start as a skinny individual, you must lean bulk, 250 to 300 calories above maintenance for your diet, and focusing on progressive overload on the key compound lifts at the gym, such as overhead shoulder press, chin-ups and pull-ups, rows, bench press, and squats will allow you to gain muscle. Sometimes softmaxxing is not enough, and if surgery or any other procedures are things that are going to really improve your looks, I don't see why you shouldn't do it. The only thing I would say is always make sure you're in the right financial situation, and you have carefully thought and planned with a good professional. This particularly case on the screen is someone who would never truly look good if he didn't do this jaw surgery because his jawbones were very small and recessed, and his bite was very bad. I mentioned this earlier in the teeth section, but just using braces in this case wouldn't be enough, because it wasn't just a teeth problem, it was a bone structure problem. As you can see, this guy got an insane result. He is now attractive, and if he applies all the things I mentioned earlier, he will become even more attractive. Another surgery where I think it has the potential to elevate someone's harmony quite a bit is nose jobs. And this is fairly obvious, although always make sure that you are dealing with a top professional, as these kinds of surgeries have the potential to have the opposite effect, and you ending up with a less harmonious face. Hair transplants are also huge at changing someone's appearance. However, it is important to take action early and combine it with the methods I talked about in the hair section, because with hair loss, it can get to a point where you won't have enough hairs in the donor area for the hair transplant to be effective. Fillers can also be a decent option, although they are temporary, and you would need to refill them every year, and that could get costly. But as you can see, there is some potential in this results. I wouldn't recommend you do this until you try to get at least to 12% body fat and see how your jawline looks like. But either way, you guys have options. And lastly, I want to talk about hormonal replacement therapy, whether it is testosterone or human growth hormone. If you are clinically deficient in them and can't get your levels up naturally, these things are very important, and they should be done under a qualified doctor's supervision. Having high testosterone levels within the normal range is a critical component for looksmaxxing because it will allow you to build muscle easier and faster. But the biggest game changer comes when you try to lean down with high testosterone levels, because you're going to retain more muscle and look fuller when you are down to 10 to 12% body fat. Another component of testosterone is that it slightly changes the way your face stores fat, so your face will have a more masculine appearance, and that adds to your overall appeal. Lastly, the mental benefits of being high testosterone are huge. I am willing to bet that a lot of doomers in the blackpill spaces have poor hormonal profiles and lower than average testosterone levels, because all they do is sit and cry all day long about how over it is. And when you are a male with high testosterone, you simply don't display this kind of behavior. You will know what you have to improve on. Go to work and make it happen. If you are not quite sure where exactly you stand on the current dating market value, and you want detailed, personalized looksmaxxing advice, you can order a facial and SMV analysis from me, and I will point you in the right direction. That's it for today. Feel free to drop a comment below, sharing your thoughts and what you would like to see me talk about in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and I will see you guys soon.